Hey everybody, welcome back to another Crypt Monkey Paints. I know it's a little different this time. We only have the one screen, the mini showing today. Hi in there. Um, Basically this mini is huge, so we decided to go with a double screen of the mini so we could get better. Hi Batbug. Um, so we could get a better view of the mini itself while I'm painting. This is another one by Mini Monster Mayhem. I'm never going to get it right, I swear to God. And this one is being painted for a client. What I did basically was I printed him in a clear blue resin. I know, I love this mini so much. It's phenomenal. So I printed him in a clear blue resin, and basically so that I could get these lightning pieces that are coming off of him to have some parts that are still like clear. And then I base coated him in just a gray because he's a storm dragon. So we're going to make him look like a storm. So I've got a few different sets of paints out here, which is a little different for me as well. I've got my storm colors over in one little spot so I don't mix everything up and I don't have to search. So I've got a couple of different shades of gray, and then I've got a really bright white. Ty, you can go ahead and put that video up of me making the base. I'll be getting to that here in a second. I know, I'm like so proud of myself for organizing myself. So the video that's playing right now is me preparing a base for the mini itself. And I decided just to make the scale of this miniature like off the charts, I decided to put a little mountain underneath him. What's my secret to not being messy? My secret is I am a complete and utter disarray while I'm not on camera, and then before I start I get organized. That's it. That's my secret. But I decided to make him surrounding a mountain just to make him like enormous and just god awful to ever have to fight. And then my kid walked by and said, "Oh, you know what? It would be really cool if it was all volcano." So I made a volcano instead. So I've got my browns and earth tones and those sort of colors in one little group. And I base coated the volcano after you can see me making it out of clay. And then once that dried, I base coated it in brown, basically so that I could just have all those earth tones underneath what I dry brush over the top. Then I've got my lightning colors are off to one side, so I've got a couple of different shades of purple and a couple of different shades of blue, and then one kind of crazy green color that's a really, really light, bright, if that makes sense, green. And then I have my lava colors off to the other side, which is an orange, a red, a yellow, and a black. So that's pretty much my setup. I think you're all caught up with what I've done. Oh, and in the video you can see me using a rock to push random textures into the clay as well. So that was a really quick way of getting the right kind of textures in my mountains super fast. Peel sweet potato. I have to pee. What? Okay, I don't get that. Okay, so I am basically ready to start. Pretty much what's going to happen is a long stream of different dry brushing. You can go ahead and switch to both cameras. So what I have is and you can see the base is all dried out and just all really dark brown at the moment, but nice and pivoted and, or not pivoted, nice and gouged, I guess is the word. So my intention is to have the lava kind of flowing through there. And then he will simply sit like that. That will be our beastie. So So when I was actually making the base, in the video, you can see me kind of picking him up and putting him on and picking him up. So I really wanted to make sure that I had all the spots where he was going to be were really not in the way of the base. So I don't know why I get that back. So basically I'm going to start dry brushing, and I have my darker gray that I'm going to use that fairly sparingly, simply because it is a storm, that's for sure. Get my paper towel out here. But I don't want it to be a super dark storm. I want it to be a light storm. So oh, see, there you go. Just take an iPad or something into the kitchen and start cooking while you're watching me. There you go. 50 cents. Very true. So if you look at the mini itself, when I base coated him, I was actually, it looks like I missed some spots, but I did that intentionally. I wanted some of that blue to show through, but he also has like actual clouds on him, as well as him being a cloud dragon. So those clouds are where I really want to put that darker gray. And especially big giant, oh, he's got a rock on him. Big giant mini. And this is why we did the 2-camera mode, because he is too big. Well, he's not, but typically on storm clouds, the bottom portion of the cloud is what's darker. So that's kind of where I'm going, is in that darker mode. Trying to keep him in frame here for you. So what are you cooking tonight besides sweet potatoes? Oh, that is covering my chat. So the darker gray is going to be used pretty sparingly. Sweet potato tortilla soup. That does sound really good. The more I think about it, the more I think milkshake sounds really good for dinner. I'm a super bad influence, though. Kind of one of those things to me that's like, now that the kids are grown and everything else, then really, I mean, I can kind of eat what I want to eat. I don't have to make sure that I'm eating healthy to show the kids to eat healthy, right? Now, I'm kind of moving all over the place, sorry. Oh, I tried that, but yeah, they don't. That never really seemed to work. I don't think I was as tough as my mom, because she would say that, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Done. But my kids had that puppy dog look nailed. Oh, man, they had that thing nailed so good. I'd have, like, oh, I really want some ice cream. I'd have to give them some, or, we'd just wait until they went to bed. That was when the Oreos came out. Alright, so I just have little hints of that darker gray in random places. There really isn't any rhyme or reason that I'm like, oh, that looks like a good spot. Is kind of what I'm going with. Because clouds are all unique. And when I was doing the basing, if you look here on the tips of the weather, well, it is weather, right? If you look at the tips of the feathers, at the very tips, I did it very, very lightly. I wanted to be able to see that blue, and right here I just missed completely, so that's going to be just a really dark spot. I wanted to be able to see that blue, that light, clear blue through, so. Okay. And I'm literally working from the darkest gray, the ancient, or I'm sorry, this one is the one that I base coated him in, and it's wolf gray. So then my ancient bark, which is a really light gray, and then I also have, I don't know that word, gray all the way up to white. So I'm working from darkest to lightest. So those two are, stand up, those two are done. I say done, but that doesn't mean I won't come back to it. Oh, I have to come back and read this. Hold on. Yes. I wholeheartedly agree with Bob Ross's theories on happy accidents. It's the way it was meant to be is what it is. That's one of the, we got, not last week because we weren't streaming last week, but the week before that, we got on a Bob Ross tear. So when we got done, Cora actually got on Hero Forge and made a Bob Ross model for us. And I found on Thingiverse a free model of a tree and a easel. So I printed all of those at some point this week or last week. I'm not really sure because time just kind of goes away. So my intention is to paint, you know, Bob Ross and paint the tree and then put the easel up in front of Bob and have a little half painted picture on the easel of the tree and, you know, some squirrels and stuff like that. But it's going to be completely amazing and so much fun. And I will definitely get, you know, a million photos of it to post whenever I am finished with it. I am just going around and around and around. Like I said, this is definitely going to be a dry brushing marathon. But it also shows how easily things can be painted with amazing detail with just a base coat and dry brushing. I mean, yeah, it takes a while, but it's a very simple technique to get a really good look. Not sure if you can really tell exactly, but I do keep going over the same sort of places because just like anything else, when you're painting, it's about building up those layers. So I'm not trying to get one thick slab of this shade on in one go. Twist and turn and twist and turn. I'm also not going completely as dry as I would normally go. Like, I'm not beating off the extra paint. I'm just letting it, I've got a really thin, let's see if I can bring this over a little bit. I've got a very large palette this time because I know I'm going to have a million colors. So basically, I'm dabbing around in the paint and then I'm just kind of wiping off rather than also then dragging it across my paper towel. This time I want it to be kind of thicker on there, but I don't want it, you can see that it's still thin enough that it's not going down in the recesses. It's staying on the top pieces like I want it to. And I think Ty just had an epiphany, is the way he looks.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I can't get to those boxes.
Oh. There's a spot he needs to get to, and I've blocked him off from it. You know, the funny thing is we set up these cameras this way, and the way I'm leaning over to paint in the first place, you guys would have never seen me on camera anyway. How's the soup coming along? Of course, I'm asking you questions, and it's probably not terribly easy to type on your phone while you're trying to cook. I think I'm going to switch over and do a couple little layers of paint on our mountain over there, or our volcano over there. It may take longer because, like this, for the dragon, I don't mind the different layers of colors kind of blending together. That just kind of lends more to the natural aspect of clouds and such. And I don't mind it so much on the dirt either, but there are some definite different shades that I'm going to want. Like all the browns blending together, I won't mind that at all. But at the final touches, I'm going to be putting some grays on like I'm doing for this guy. And those I don't want to blend with the browns. So I probably should be getting the browns done real quick so that has time to dry.
Maybe mention the when we reach 40 thing at some point.
Oh yeah, that's very true. I'm not sure how many followers we're at right now. Oh, 27. When we reach 40 followers, we're going to do a vote on what we're going to give away when we hit 50. So I've got some minis to pick from, and probably on the next stream I'll have them, I should have them all printed by then, and then I will have them all sitting here, so basically we can talk about each one a little bit and kind of go over what they are, and then we'll set up for everyone to be able to vote on that. But there's some really good ones that I am not only super excited to paint, not terribly excited to ship just because they're on the larger size. Yes, exactly. I love teasing. But no, I really liked the idea of letting you guys be able to vote for what was going to be given away. I thought that was a great idea. Okay, I have to stop fiddling with that guy. I'm having so much fun. I just want to keep working on him, but I need to get the browns on this guy. So, I think I'm going to skip those and go straight into my leather brown. Of course, which is clogged. Oh, sorry you got stuck at work. That could not have been fun. And welcome, you know me, who is the person that actually is going to be receiving this when it is all said and done. Still have a few more for that particular order to finish up, but getting close. Get my hand out of the way there. This mini is definitely a lot of fun. He's been pretty popular, but you know, you can see why. He's kind of awesome. I'm really just kind of dry brushing in every which direction. Just really want this to look like, you know, a volcano. Not completely erupting, but definitely oozing. So I really want it to look like a rocky mountain. Not to mention the browns and things like that, and the reds and the yellows on the volcano will really kind of make him stand out, because he's, you know, he's that blue and stormy gray and everything. And I will put gray on this, but mainly kind of up in this area, because that's what a volcano looks like. That's not bad for a soup. I would have thought that would have taken a lot longer, unless you've been prepping for like a long time. I'm definitely one of those open a can of Campbell's when I want a bowl of soup. All right, let's get some lighter tones in here going. Oh. Yes, the volcano is simmering. Oops. But this dragon is a very good reason why you should use acrylics when you're working on something so big, because my wolf gray was full and it is now almost completely empty, which is fine, but because I didn't have a good gray that I liked for my storm clouds in acrylics or anything, so thought about mixing it, and I'm like, I'll use my wolf gray, it's fine. Sorry if it takes me a little longer to notice chat this time. I've kind of got it setting off to the side of me, so I don't necessarily see it right away. Not like I've been famous for paying a whole lot of attention to that anyway. I try, but then I start getting into my own little zone of painting. No, not necessarily. If you're just going to, if you're painting something from that's metal, you definitely want to prime it first with just like an acrylic primer would work just fine as well. But if you're going to use your acrylic paints, I would recommend priming no matter what you're using. If you've got something from Reaper, sometimes they kind of have a film on them, so you might want to put it in the sink and just kind of wash it off with a little dish soap sort of thing, just to get it kind of cleaned up and ready to take it. I think I do want a little more dark in there. Doesn't quite look rocky enough for me. Ugh, this one's clogged too. Oh, this one. Obviously have not used this one in a very long time. Yeah, Sunburn, you and I both have so many acrylic paints, it's ridiculous. But I'm still painting on canvas fairly often. I wouldn't say lately, but I still have a bunch of canvases calling my names because I have two names, right? So I tend to set my my acrylics off and leave them for when I'm actually back on a canvas. The way I paint on canvas, though, I need a very wide open area. I tend to use large canvases, and then I'm, big, giant gestures and throwing paint everywhere and knocking the devil out of the brush when I'm cleaning it. I'm intentionally making this very splotchy because that's what rocks do. They have multiple colors all in the same rock and they're splotchy. So there, that is probably all the browns I'm going to add to that, and I'll dry brush more other colors once all of those browns are set. So we are going to bring the dragon back, and we are going to go into an even lighter shade, which is not much lighter than what we were already using. Ooh, gotta shake that. But it is slightly lighter. And for this type of thing, I don't usually put it in the palette. I couldn't think of the word for a minute. Which is not actually a palette. It is actually the top piece of a Tupperware. But hey, why not, right? If it works, man. Yeah, I wanted to. That's one of the luxuries of being able to print. I can print in the colors that I want. So being able to print this in a clear blue seems a little bit ridiculous because I've, pretty much covered him completely. But it gives me that freedom to have the lightning being a blue, and I can really just play with the shade of what that lightning is going to be. You know, I can add some purples, and I can add some more blue, and I can add some white, and I can just, you know, because even lightning is not all one color. It's definitely got those purples and blues and whites and all those other things happening. So it's pretty amazing. I think one of my favorite things about this model is the fact that, and Sunbrand can attest to this, one of my favorite things to paint is storms. Painting, drawing, whatever, I happen to, you know, I love, love, love doing storms. So this is right up my alley. A little thick. Twisty turny time. I'm reserving judgment on my Volcano at the moment. Not 100% sold on him yet, but that's kind of how I always feel until I've got the finishing touches or close to the finishing touches on him. But that's also the real luxury of nothing's glued on yet. If I don't like that one, I'll just redo it. But I think what it is I'm wanting more gray tones at the top of that thing, and I think once I see the lava and everything else, it'll look awesome. Yes, between storms and trees, that's pretty much what I draw or paint. Although lately I have started drawing floating islands, and then I changed it over to flying jellyfish with islands on top of them. Because why not? Like Bob Ross always told me, it's my world and I can make what I want. And you can see how just those different shades of gray so far is all we've used. And we've literally base coated and dry brushed. That's all we've done. Super, super simple. But those different shades pop up on each other, and it builds the depth of the clouds is really what it's doing. I have a loose hair tickling the back of my neck, and I can't seem to catch it. Oops. Paint mess. There, fixed. Yeah, I pretty much love anything having to do with water or the ocean. I'm kind of obsessed with it. When I was younger, my mom used to say, well, you should have been a mermaid. I'm like, no, I should have been a fish. Get tilted up here. And where the lightning is striking, I'll do, or not necessarily striking, but where it's coming out from and touching, you know, going, like some of these pieces, like this one is coming out of his whisker and it's going back into his body. So in those two places, I'll do a small glow effect. Kind of forgot about that top camera. Sorry, I was probably just sticking my arm really in the way. Excuse me. Alright, time to flip again. Poofed. Let's see if I can get a better angle on the camera here. There we go. Oh, thank you. And you can see how we're just getting all these natural, like, highs and lows and shades happening. Dark gray clouds and
You're off of both cameras.
sorry. Totally went off camera there. But this is why we did 2 cameras, because he's so freaking huge. As he should be, because he's amazing. And this is I printed him at the size the designer, sculptor designed him at, sorry. Getting tongue twisted while I'm painting his tongue. So I could actually make him bigger if I wanted to. Oh my gosh. You know, Ty and I have always kind of just said that we might look into those food boxes when we don't have any kids living at home anymore, because it's kind of expensive to feed all of us on them. I can definitely shop cheaper than that. One more kid to go. Alright. You are going to let me get your wing under here, dude. Because it's important. There we go. That's better. Oof. Okay, he's getting all stabby on my hand, so he's got to go down for a minute. There's just lightning in all kind of places all over him. And I love that so much. Love lightning storms. Let's see. Yeah, that feels pretty dry. I think while I've got this on my brush, I'm going to start dry brushing a little bit of that gray down from the top and the ashy area. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze again. Yeah, our little dog does not like them at all. We actually have a thundercoat for Sir, and Mister doesn't seem to care one way or the other. Looks like he doesn't even notice them. So basically the way I've kind of designed it is the side of the mountain blew out. So back here, other than a couple of, drips out this way, I really won't put a whole lot of gray, ashy look. I'll stick to it kind of coming out this way only. Because that's what we care about in our miniatures and for our fantasy setting is realism, right? Yes, I mean the Muppet Sir. I haven't really decided yet on how I'm going to do the lava. My intention is to probably paint it. You can see that I kind of dug out grooves, but as I've been painting, I've obviously been, thinking about it, and I'm almost thinking maybe I might pour resin in, stain some resin red, and then pour that into the grooves and let it come into the flow, and then cure that, and then once that's good and dry, I can kind of dry brush it a little bit with some yellow to give it some brighter spots. The more I think about it, that's the more I kind of really want to do that. Sunbrand, you and LEDs, I think you guys are having an affair or something, I'm telling you. But I did print, I say design, I did not design. I did print my Corrupted Phoenix with see-through, with the same clear resin. It's just not that exact same. I'm going to put a little black in here now. It's not the exact same color. That way I can light through it and light up the eggs. And it looks phenomenal. I don't like that. Switch brushes, so I've got a clean brush because that went gray instead of black. Ty just warned me it's going to get noisy, and I have no idea why. Oh, I think he's opening the garage door, which you guys absolutely cannot hear that, I know. So, next week, I plan on painting a giant. He is for a customer on Etsy, and he will be, I'll show you on the stream, but I'll have multiple sizes of him and versions of him, and basically he's kind of growing, and he's got runes that I'll be freehand painting on him, and he'll be kind of holding on to columns. That's what they're called. Wow. Can anybody say brain dead? And that's my intention anyway. It is possible that I will have to go out of state next week, but I don't know yet. I literally won't know until Monday, so unfortunately I won't be able to plan for that extremely well. Thanks, Batbug. Oh. Alright, now we got a little black in there for that. And this black is one that'll stay fairly shiny, which lends itself really well to obsidian. Because the word obsidian, that I remember, but okay. Yeah, that looks much better. And I think what I'll probably do is put some greenery down here. Although, I don't know exactly how I'll do that yet because it won't be able to be full-size trees. But yeah, that is looking kind of awesome. So, let's come back to Mr. Stormy. I'm going to get the straight up white out now. We'll switch to this one. I have no idea what time it is either. Oh, okay, it's only 7:20.
Yeah, I've got the up over there for you.
Thank you, baby. Probably won't finish this on this stream. I'll end on time tonight, just because we have a convention coming up this weekend. CantCon in Independent, or is it Kansas City? It's Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri. Yes.
We might be in Kansas. I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah. But you can go to cantcon.com, and I think it's, Ty will put a link up real quick in the chat. You can absolutely come out and see us. That would be amazing. And honestly, if somebody walks up to me at a convention and tells me, I saw you on your stream, I will give you something free. I don't know what. I will literally pick up something cool in front of me and hand it to you. Because that's how excited I will be to see somebody from my stream live. Well, you know what I mean. But anyway, so we, yeah, I completely lost my train of thought there, sorry. So we have the convention to get ready for, and I will absolutely be finishing this mini up tonight, but the idea of the resin lava is really kind of sticking with me, and I do not have any of that stuff out and prepped and ready. So I'm pretty sure that's how I will do the lava, which I just think is going to look the best, honestly.
You mentioned that you may not be streaming next week.
Yes, I did bring up next week. I did say that I just don't know if I will be able to or not. But if I am, then I'm going to be showing all of the minis. I should have them all printed by then. If I don't have them all printed, I'll at least have images that we can throw up. Throw up on screen, not bleh, but because y'all needed the sound effects, right? So we'll have all of the minis available to see, and so that voting at 40 followers can happen, and you guys can actually have a really good idea of what you're voting for. And then at 50, that mini will be given away. And I'll try to time it where I'm painting that mini on the show where we think we're gonna hit 50, but can't always guarantee that. But that is the goal. And then we'll have to think of something to do. We'll have to decide what we're going to do and what our next goal will be. Because I haven't even really put any thought into that. Tyler, have you?
No. I don't know. Let's hit 50 and then see.
Oh, at 100 we should do something? What should we do at 100?
A biggie. Oh, I can think of one.
Don't even say my Kraken.
No. A really big one.
No, I am not. I am not doing Tiamat. That's not happening.
I was thinking of Cthulhu.
Oh, a Cthulhu. I could do Cthulhu.
That's a biggie.
Storm unicycle. What?
Sounds like something I want to ride.
You don't have to paint, right? I literally have a tornado riding a unicycle going through my head now. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, that would work. Damn it. Now they did the bell, the bike bells. That's really not helping me paint. Oh. Okay. Yes, I will definitely add lava around where the columns are. That does sound like a lot of fun. So what I can do is I will make sure the lava technique that I want to do works on this one. And if it doesn't, then I'll do something else and fix this one. But if it does, then next week when I'm on the stream, I'll do more lava. That way you guys can see how it works. Oh, that freaking... Oh, God. So in a hurricane would have to ride a double bicycle. It just wouldn't fit on a unicycle. One of those big old-time bikes with the giant front wheel. Oh, come on, guys. Get my head back straight. I'm having enough trouble as is. Okay, so he is looking fairly good. Definitely some more details that I need to do, but I really want to be able to start on the lightning so you guys can kind of see that aspect of it as well. And you can see when hopefully you can see over my fat hands. Anytime I'm coming toward the very tips of these wings, I'm intentionally going really, really lightly because I want that blue to show through on those wings. Okay, now it is time for a detail brush. So we can discuss, when we're at 50, we can discuss what we're going to do for 100. But I do have a Kraken that is by Reaper, and he's like on a broken ship. I also have a Kraken that I can print. So that's why I'm kind of okay with the Kraken idea, because I have 2 different Krakens I can print, and then I have the Reaper Kraken, which is not sold out or anything like that, so I can definitely buy that one again. It's the ones that I can't get again are the ones that it's so hard to give them away or anything like that. Okay, so for the lightning, I definitely, ow, spiky. I definitely want to leave some of this clear blue, but I have, man, my hands were a mess. I have the Moonstone blue. I've got a just tropical blue. Then I have a turquoise, which I probably won't use. But then I also have a lilac purple that is a dry brush. And I have a dry Helion green for that really like bright super that goes with that set. And then I also have another just layer purple. So I'm going to pick some of these that are already like almost completely coated in white. I'm going to start on a couple of those are going to get this tropical blue. And then I'll...
Nightly regard just followed.
Thank you for the follow.
Nightly regard.
Nightly regard, sorry. So I'm going to take it, the first couple of layers of this, that brush is just too big. I'm going to be doing the tropical blue so that I can come over it with the Moonstone blue and give it highlights so that it has a couple of different shades happening. Alright, let me get this little guy closer. Ow! Damn, that one spot keeps getting me. Alright, that looks like it's in focus. This is the detail work where I kind of balance my hands funky. And this goes back to my eyeballs story. That I told, I think, on the first stream. Anytime I'm doing something super detailed and someone talks to me, I usually only manage one word, and that's eyeballs. And that's to let who's ever talking to me, let them know that I'm working on something detailed and I don't really want to talk. But I absolutely heard them, and as soon as I'm done with my detail, I will answer them. Sorry, I had to twist. I couldn't see the underside of that particular lightning. Ow. The other thing I'm trying to make sure I do is I'm, kind of going around. I'm not going to do all of this, one big section of blue. I want to keep the colors fluctuating around, so. Have fun with Loki. I haven't actually watched it yet, but I am absolutely looking forward to it. But I want to be able to sit down and really focus on it, and I haven't been able to have that time yet lately. But enjoy. Try not to hit the camera. Okay. So that piece is dry over there. So now I can kind of show you what I mean by bringing it up. Because with that particular one, I painted the whole thing blue. Oop, shake the paint, shake the paint. And now I'm going to take my lighter blue, get it back in the light over here. And I'm going to take a real thin line of it. My paintbrush is already kind of, the tip of it is already blue, so I doubt you can tell how much paint I have on there, but it's a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm just going to do, see, so much so that I talked too long and it dried. Just a line like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be solid. It's that this is the brightest part of the lightning. And you could even use something like a toothpick or something to get a finer line, and then you wouldn't have to worry about your paintbrush moving. As a matter of fact, let's see. Nope, that's got a bunch of glue on it. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm looking to see what other tools I have sitting around. I thought I had one of my clay, because I've got a bunch of clay tools. I thought I had those sitting over here, but I guess I don't. Some of them, some of the clay tools will have a point where it's just a, you know, almost like a needle, but this one I was using to help glue things down. So thank you for the follow, Sawdust Dragon. But that would have worked as well, just to kind of basically draw a line with it. But I don't have any toothpicks or anything near me, so do the same thing on this one, where I'm just gonna steady my hands, which is my biggest problem right now. My hands are kind of shaky.
Do you want a toothpick?
Yeah, if you don't mind grabbing me one. So it's just that highlight line is all it really is. Oh, let's see. Let's get out some of this purple. Would you stop? Give me that. Get out of here with tongs, jackass. So, I'm going to paint this one over here purple. And then we will do the same thing I just did with that. But I'll do it with a toothpick this time. Sometimes it just makes it easier because something rigid like that, you can do a more consistent line because it doesn't move, the the soft bristles don't move around and go a place where you didn't expect it, or you, like on this paintbrush, I have a random bristle that is sticking out, and it can dot something somewhere. Sorry, eyeball. Where I didn't mean it to dot, but okay. And also, while I've got that really light blue out as well, I'm gonna get my makeup brush out. Really fine, really light dry brush, but to get that glow effect around this blue. And it's going to be super, super subtle, but that's okay. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to mix a little bit of that other blue in, the tropical blue, and see if that shows up a little bit better. Because I don't want it to be super powerful, but I do want to see it a little bit. There we go. So basically just kind of dry brushing where it is. So yeah, I think that's the best option, is mixing in the tropical blue with that really light blue. And it just gives us a nice little subtle glow effect of where that lightning is. And I'll probably lose a lot of this glow effect that I'm doing right now, just because I know there's a lot more detail work that I want to come back and do. But I just wanted to show you how I was going to do that effect. It's just super, super light touches. Kind of where the lightning would naturally light up the cloud. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to ask them whenever. I'm just, almost feels like I'm just doodling. Yeah, that purple's almost dry. See, that's kind of nice. We'll kind of do that number. And then push him back. A little bit, there's, for the red and the gray, or the red and the blue resin, they seem like they can be slightly more fragile. But, I mean, it's not something that, you know, you should be throwing your miniatures across the room like you could do with a plastic Reaper miniature. They're definitely, in general, they're more fragile than a plastic or metal. But for in between the different resins that I personally purchase, they seem like they might be a little more fragile, but not severely, not noticeably enough that I would not print in them. I think the effect that they give are worth being slightly more gentle with them. But there's also some resins out there that claim that, well, these are not fragile at all, or they're non-brittle is what they're called. But I haven't seen much of a difference. They are maybe less brittle, but still, if I drop it on the floor, it's going to break. Where I can, drop a Reaper miniature and pick it up and keep going. So I don't find that there's enough of a difference to keep me from using them. I think the cool factor of the clear resins is definitely worth it. Not to mention, I can play with these resins. Like the blue, I can add a little bit of yellow and get a really cool green color. I can just really play with what I'm getting and have those effects change for what's going on. If we can. Damn it, now that whole thing's going through my head again. No, I would not recommend riding a storm unicycle. Alright, so that purple, yes, the purple is now dry. So this purple is actually a dry brush, and dry brushing color. So you can see the difference in the consistency of the two. This is a layer paint and this is an actual dry brush paint. So this one won't work as well as I was hoping with the toothpick, because you can see it just kind of clumps up there, but it might work. We'll try it. No, that's not going to work. So we are going to paint another one blue and do it that way instead then. I lost, there you are. Yeah, I think putting the ash color on the Volcano is making me fall in love with it again. Oh, and to be clear, the resin that I'm going to use to make the lava is not the same resin I used to 3D print with. That is very different resin. What I'm going to use to make the lava with is epoxy resin. Or UV resin is another one that I happen to have in the house because my youngest kid likes it. Although I like how quickly I can cure it, but man, it smells. Oh man, it is like the worst smelling resin there is. that dry, and then we'll be able to do that. But in the meantime, get a different dry brush. Just knock around a little bit of that purple. And then what I'll also do is wherever there's clouds, I will do a, what do you call it? The finishing stuff. Wow, my brain is completely dead right now. What, Tyler? No, this stuff. Hold on, it's right behind me. The finish, the acrylic sealer. What I'll do is wherever it's cloud, I'll do a matte finish. And wherever it's lightning or mouth or eyes, I'll do, excuse me. Wow, my throat. I'll do a gloss finish so that the lightning is shiny and that the rest of it is flat. Yeah, let's play a little bit too. Let's take this one with blue, and I left the purple on my brush so it'll kind of blend as I'm going, and that's wet blending. So I can go from a strong blue and end in a strong purple. Whenever you're wet blending, though, you need to work quickly because this paint's so thin on here that it'll dry really quickly on you. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to do a couple more of those. And I'm going to reverse it too. Do a couple that are starting off strong purple and coming out a blue. And you'll notice I'm not cleaning my brush in between the paints. Too much. No, it's like I'm kind of jumping around all over the model, but it's just where my eyes land, and I decide to work on that spot real quick. That's something that I've always found kind of helps whenever I'm drawing or anything like that, of never focusing in on one little spot. Because then that one spot gets all of my attention. And it looks amazing. It's the most perfect spot ever. But everything else looks boring as hell. So I tend to bounce around quite a bit. Oh, that is the wrong dry brush. Ty is doing all kind of wonderful things in the chat for me.
Poorly. Doing it poorly.
Well, it's more than I'm doing right now. Lightning is just so much fun to actually, like, just paint and play with, that it's... I could literally do this for like the next 5 hours and not even notice the time go. Speaking of which, oh, we're almost at 8, aren't we?
6 more minutes.
So, basically what I'm going to do is when 8 o'clock hits, I'm going to stop painting and I'm going to go eat dinner. But, excuse me. Ty, can you switch to where my top camera is my main camera?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Sure. I just want to point out some things that are happening that look really good. Get something to point with. Okay, there we go. So basically, what's happening over here on this wing, making sure I'm got everything in frame here, sorry. This is what the look that I'm going for all over, is all of these kind of little details where you have the different dry brushing, you have the wet blending happening, you have the some that are just solid. I mean, I haven't even touched on my green one yet, but I'll be adding that in too. But basically, I'm going to go over this entire model and make it look like this. Now, there's still some more highlights that I want to bring in with the white, but I may actually just simply get the white and come in and do little details like that where I can really brighten up this one little particular spot. Maybe coming down these individual wings and really kind of giving them a little bit of extra love to just really kind of pop those sort of things out. My paint got a little thick on me there. But that's what I'm going to basically continue to keep, or, continue doing until he's completely finished. I will try to record the rest of me working on him so that when we upload this video to YouTube, you'll be able to see the whole process. But the rest of me working on this, I won't really be speaking, so we'll simply do a kind of a speed paint thing. But I want to be able to bring out those highlights. I want to be able to bring out those glowing effects all over the entire thing. I mean, he's littered with lightning. I mean, there's just, like, this wing right here is just absolutely, it's shocking. But his face too, I really want to be able to pay a lot of attention. He's got it coming out of his mouth, out of his ears, not his ears, I'm sorry, his whiskers. He's got it coming out everywhere. So I really want to be able to focus on all of those little pieces of lightning. So I definitely will try to record the rest of me doing this, as well as finishing up the base. Probably what I'm going to end up doing is on this back area, probably making a few little spikes. Maybe even taking toothpicks, which, oh, there it is. Literally just take a toothpick and clip it, sort of like that. My hands are so filthy. And then putting it, gluing it down into the clay like this. And then from that point, I can put this green moss on it, and it'll look like little trees all over the back. So we'll have, you know, it'll be pretty intricate, but it deserves it, right? So, and he will, yeah, you can switch back to regular view now. So there won't be a whole lot of trees, but there will be some, simply because of the way he sits. There's little space for trees back here, but I will do some trees. Maybe get a few rocks out and put, you know, giant boulders. And then we'll have the lava flow coming out from here. So it'll be fun. And he looks amazing so far, if I do say so myself, which, you know, you should always toot your own horn, right? But I think that's where we're going to call it for the night. Don't forget to join our Discord. Ty and I both are constantly on Discord. Even if we're not jabbering, we definitely have it open all the time. Get your friends to follow. Next week, we'll be showing all of the possible votes for the 50 giveaway, 50 followers giveaway. And then after that, it'll be something even larger. So it sounds like we're leaning toward a Kraken happening, which will be kind of awesome.
It's only because they haven't seen the Cthulhu.
This is, well, a lot of people have seen my Cthulhu. But do the likes, do the follows, share with your friends. Make sure you know, help us feel the love from everybody. And we're going to call it a night. Thanks everyone so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.